What is going on? Morning, evening, afternoon. What a frickin' crowd so far. Ryan, good morning. Shambot, good morning. I need to get that off my screen, have the sound coming through. Uh-oh, what is going on here? Something's not working? Oh, no, it was working. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Ryan West, good morning. Laramie, morning. Wayne. Flint, morning from North Texas RPG Con. Morning. Tad. Jeffrey, good to see you. Roger, morning. Who did I miss? I think I said Ryan, but I can't put his name on the screen because I launched it too late. Maybe I did. Regardless. Anyways. Yeah, what's going on? Morning, good evening. I'm Sean. I'll be your host for the next hour. Some of you may know me from What the Heck is an RPG and GM Mastermind. What happened to that podcast? And not to be outdone by Gaming and BS RPG podcast with my buddy Brett. I stream every Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time, talk about RPG stuff, mostly things that are happening, crowdfunding, print news, things that have been put out. Matt, good to see you. Morning. Oh yeah, don't alarm me. Do some troubleshooting first before shouting at the screen and throwing me into a frenzy. Aaron, morning. 10-4 Ryan, appreciate it. Figured one Ryan should help. Blake isn't here. I expect Ryan West to fill in. What's up, Laramie? Nubis, good afternoon. I would imagine, Nubis, you take the crown for furthest away person. Could be wrong. There might be somebody further away, but I doubt it. Thanks for tuning in. All right. What is going on? I wonder if my West Marches game is fizzling. Is it fizzling? Uh-oh. Put out a couple dates. Didn't get any bites. Might be a little boring. I gotta spice it up maybe a little bit. Only physically. Also Australia. Do we have any Aussies in the house right now? Blake isn't here yet, so I don't know. I don't think so. Blake were here, yes. Maybe. Yeah, Australia's probably further. Australia. Let's do the question of the day, shall we? Yeah, no worries on joining or not joining. That's the beauty of it. Join whenever you want, when you're available. So it's all good. Yeah, there was I mean, ideally I would like some, hey, we're going to want to go here and not, and then the party's fully bought in a few days out. Could I run it last minute? Maybe. Some of it's familiar enough, but anyways. And it's all good. Hey, no, hey, people got stuff going on. I understand. It's all good. All right, let's get into question du jour, if you will. Let me see. All right. Now, I realize that not everybody here is game master. So if you've never game mastered before, it's okay. If you prefer not to game master, it's okay. So if you're if you are a game master and have game mastered an RPG, tabletop RPG, you meet a new person that's going to try their hand at the craft of game mastering. What single piece of advice would you give that person? If you don't run games typically, and I say typically as in like 80 to 90, percent or more, you don't run games, and somebody wanted to try an RPG as a player, what advice would you give them? You can't do both. I only put in the player option because some of us aren't all game masters. Okay? So just because I'd rather keep it to one. These multi-parters, they're taken away from my fuel tank that I could use later. Ryan kicks it off, says, it's not your story, it's the character story. Don't overthink it. All right? One for the books. Write that down. From having game mastered, my best advice is learn how to read the room. Very pertinent to serial killer hideouts. Jeff, get a group of players together with chemistry. Jeff kills me. I know the context. That's why I laugh. I know the context, so. Flint says, advice to new DMs. Put the characters / players forward, not the system. All right. Yes, if people are having fun, you're doing it right. But it's hard to have everybody have fun. Is it? The same scale of fun? Tad, you don't also have to take on teaching players the game. It's okay to learn all together. To all learn together. Yeah, fair. Wisdom spewing forth into the cosmos. William, good morning. How are you? If you're a game master, what single and you come to a person that wants to try their hand at game mastering, what single piece of advice would you give them? If you rarely game master, like, hey, I'm player all day, what advice would you give somebody that's just getting into the hobby as a player? Please refrain from answering both. I know, being a little nitpicky, but maybe next week I'll ask everybody, hey, player advice. Nubis, get a group of people you can be very comfortable with. Avoid having judgy players. Positive people will make it fun. Nothing like a Debbie Downer at the table. Debbie Downer. If you're not familiar with Debbie Downer, I mean, it's a cliche in the U.S., but there's an actual character on Saturday Night Live that was played for a little while called Debbie Downer. That gives you the epitome of who a Debbie Downer is. Shambot says, embrace the failures and keep moving things forward. Don't let the game start to get bogged down by a rule or result. Nubis SNL, I'm half American. Saturday Night Live, yeah. Do you get Saturday Night Live over there, Nubis? Wayne Peacock runs games for strangers in game stores. Right? This guy. Simplicity is your friend. Simple system, simple adventure. We get YouTube. Oh, that's true. You can look her up on YouTube. Oh, I forgot about that. Let's see. My piece of advice to a new game master. It's got to be the players. The players are never going to know. The players are never going to know. And I mean, they're never going to know if you're making a mistake. They're never going to know if it's part of the game. Many times they won't even know if the rule that you put out there is actually accurate. Don't sweat it. Don't. Because I think my gut tells me a lot of reasons that people don't game master is they're afraid of screwing up. I think it's a fear of screwing up, being called out. So don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. And you know what? Even if they call out a rule, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Many gamers, I'd say here's the thing. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go off a little tangent here. Here's the thing. I think we get a bad rap. Shocker. I know, right? Shocker. I think we get a bad rap. We're the nerds, we're the social outcasts, we are ones with weird personalities, eclectic personalities. We're not self-aware in the fact of like how we say things and I think that's probably even a minority of our hobby. I think it was built up back in the days, where if we weren't on the football, baseball fields, we were playing D&D in the basements, it's just a stereotype and probably not wholly accurate, Well, there's a reason it's a stereotype, Sean. Well, maybe. So, but having said that, are there quirky gamers? Yes. But are there quirky football fans? Are there quirky, executives? Yes. Like quirkiness knows no bounds. So I always think that, and I say this because, when somebody comes up with like, hey, I think you got that rule wrong. Usually the person saying it in a manner that's kind of, yes, there are the rules lawyers. Actually, which can come off a little harsh is my point. But many of those are the minority, like a very few people. And as a matter of fact, if you're playing with your friends, you're going to know who those people are. You're going to know Jeff. Jeff's going to be the guy that calls me out all the time. But he's your friend. That's another thing, too. Like, it's different if you're playing your hand at game mastering and first trying in a public space, like Wayne does down where he lives, versus, hey, I'd like to get this game. I'd like to kick off this game, or I want to try my hand at game mastering for a group that I've been playing with. You already know the dynamics. That's what's really perplexing to me sometimes is like, well, I'm afraid to game master because I might get things wrong. But you're also playing with people like that know you and probably aren't, they're not a food critic trying your food for the first time and I'm going to write you up in the New York Times about how it sucks. Like, it's just not that. It's just not that. Right? Ryan West says, buy every book for every system and memorize the rules. So you can adjudicate everything that could ever happen. Or don't. That's right. No. So I'm just going to go out on a limb here and think that Ryan's being a little bit facetious. And don't forget to check the scrolling banner and like. Yeah. Like and subscribe if you're finding this interesting. Matt says, TPK is what we live for. Don't be afraid to obfuscate your die rolls to win. Ooh, strong words from Mr. Stark. Oh, stirring the pot. Let's talk about fudge and die rolls, shall we? No. Not today. Today is not that day. If you own your quirkiness, it's easier to accept other people's quirkiness. True. Fair. I just think like the days of the typical nerd are in the past. I really like that thing, you know. I mean, in the 80s, they had Nerds the movie. Like, I think, now we've got, nerddom has become mainstream. All walks of life have embraced something associated with nerddom, if you will. Sean just booped my nose. Why do I sit so close to the screen? I'm trying to get I'm trying to give you the full experience as if you were in the room with me. One of these days I'm going to do one of these streams like this, and I'm going to try not to blink the whole time and see how that goes. Nubis says, you don't have an answer to a player's question. Ask them what they think the answer is. Use that answer if it's sensible. Could be here all day with this tribe of knowledge, the game mastery wisdom. Indeed. Thanks everybody for contributing. And what can we do as that game master that bestows the, diamonds of advice? Support the person. Let them stumble. Let them fail. Support them. Be there. Give them the hand. Help them up. Want to give them a run in their game or play in their game. And, just a couple things they could tighten up a little bit. If they ask for it, great. Provide it. Provide the feedback. But, if they don't, doesn't mean you can't. Just take them to the side, right? Hey, I know you're probably off to if you're at a convention, game store, it's your group, text message, single, one-on-one. Hey, are you open to feedback? Got some feedback for you. Here's just a couple things. Creatives I think that would be another piece of advice. Be open to feedback. Be open to feedback. Don't take it personally. They're not attacking your family, right? They're not attacking you as a person. It's the craft. I think a lot of creatives understand this if they've been doing it a little while, like zine makers, RPG people that create campaigns, make their own classes and archetypes. They do YouTube, podcasting. Maybe they paint or do paint miniatures. If you are in the creative space of some kind, you kind of have to take it on the head or ignore it, right? You got to take it on the chin or ignore it. No, there's going to be haters out there. I don't think that I don't think it pertains so much to game mastering because you're talking about 5 or 6 people. But, if somebody gives you feedback, kind of soak it in, roll with it. Does it make sense? Could it actually be something that you could tweak to make you a better game master? They could be wrong. I mean, it's hard to say if a person's wrong or not, if it's based on an opinion. If they get the rule incorrect, after they go, hey, that rule, this is what it really is. Just so you know, future, moving forward. Good to know. File it away. Single piece of advice to GMs, blink. Blink, Sean. How am I going to become a cult figure if I've got a normal look? I got to have this look. More advice. Your players are not out to get you until the second time you run a game. There you go. Another piece of advice for new game masters. Hit that like and subscribe button under the video. Out. You can learn more by making mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, right? It's inevitable in anything you first try. Michael Jordan. He makes mistakes, and he's been, he could be playing, on the court for 10, 15 years, be the, most valuable player in the game. That's he plays basketball. He was part of the Chicago Bulls for a long time. Very, very good basketball player. Okay, just so you guys know. Right? Makes mistakes during a game. Guy's getting paid millions of dollars, All right, let's get into stuff, shall we? All right, let's get into stuff. Thanks everybody for contributing. Much appreciated. Hopefully a game master sees this and says, all right, cool. Gonna start out with something a little not RPG, but I thought, why not? So I follow All the Right Movies on Twitter or X, whatever. And every once in a while, I think once a week, once a month, they do a thread on a movie that was released X amount of years ago. And they do a lot of, the more you know, right? Things you don't know about the movie in production. So here's something to make some of you feel very old. Ghostbusters was released 40 years ago. The original. 40 years ago today. Okay. And so they did a thread of 1 to 38 tweets about the movie and the things and all of the things. I'm going to put it down in the chat below. I figured, it's a iconic movie. If you're a little bit on the younger side and haven't seen it, definitely go and see it. I mean, it's still in color, for Christ's sake. It's not that old. So I thought I would put that out there because there is some cool stuff with, and they put out some interesting things. So in the first tweet under it says, SNL comic Dan Aykroyd was brought up in an environment where ghosts and ghouls were part of his family. His great-grandfather was a spiritual researcher, and his dad wrote a book called A History of Ghosts. Aykroyd always wanted to put his experiences into a screenplay. So there you go. Let's get into some... Oh, I even forgot to hit this. What did I do? Oh, my goodness. There. Let's do that. Okay, now let's start. All right. I'm going to go through some... I should have one with bundles and promotions and all this other stuff, but regardless. Anyways, so let's get some bundles out of the way. SR5 missions, so Shadowrun 5 missions. So if you're a Shadowrun fan or you've ever wanted to get into Shadowrun and you're wondering about Shadowrun stuff, check out that bundle. Some of these bundles, man, you just can't pass up because you just get such a epic butt ton of stuff in them. It's hard to pass up. This is, wait a minute. Did I just click on that? No. Okay. Yes. So this one's SR5 Essentials. Okay. Well, let me try to do this. There we go. So SR5 Essentials, Shadowrun 5 Essentials. So Shadowrun 5th edition core rulebook, run and gun. 3 books in that bundle. Cost you $20. Things are going towards the Deanna Jones Award. So if you're marginally interested in that, Rifts, holy cow, Rifts Coalition Wars bundle. Man, there you go. Rifts from, I think this is from Palladium, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books, seven pieces, RPG goodness. Check out that. Boom. Rifts Coalition. Anybody playing Rifts? When's the last time anybody played here? Anybody here played Rifts? Good morning, Joe. Good to see you. What's this? If you like Ghostbusters or you want to play it, keep an eye on the Discord for my upcoming Hasbro's one-shot. Roger's been doing one-shots. Did Feng Shui 2nd edition last week. Had a great time. Definitely, highly recommend. Would play again. I GM a Ghostbusters game using Atomic Robo. Have you ever played a Ghostbusters game just using Ghostbusters the game? I would try Suede Riffs. I played Riffs about 3 years ago. I feel a rift. Let's see. Next. Here you go. Riffs Core Mega. Riffs Core Mega. I feel compelled to get this. You get Riffs Ultimate Edition, 3 Riffs guides and kits, Index Adventures V1 to 2. Then you get the Source Book Collection. I mean, let's bring it back. Bring it back. Has it ever really left? Riffs, baby. I've never played Riffs. Never. I've never looked at a Riffs book. I have a buddy of mine, Jimmy, here in Madison. He's in the dot group. He runs and plays Riffs. And he's also the person, if you've ever been to like Gamehole Con, there is a, 50 to 75%, 25 to 75% chance that Jimmy might have ran your Shadowrun game. If it was one of the official Catalyst sanctioned organized play scenarios. Let's see, what else? Crown and Skull. This one I think was brought up a while ago. I don't know if this is new or it's the same bundle. But regardless, Crown Skull is relatively new. You get this is, I think, is this the digital bundle? It says the digital bundle. Oh, wow, it is a digital bundle. They're all digital bundles, Sean. Rules, maps, VTT assets, and music in this one. So it's not like 20 books in this bundle because Crown and Skull just came out. So I would imagine as supplements are made for it, some of that will come around. Let's see. I think I got all of them so far. Next one. Kicking butt and keeping it going. Pathfinder's Finest, 2nd edition. So this is only pertinent to folks that are Fantasy Ground users. So if you like Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop, then you like Pathfinder, there you go. Okay. I'm trying to show some love to those that like something other than Roll20 or Foundry. If you like Fantasy Grounds, there you go. Let's see. And then last, well, kind of last but not least, Delta Green. Okay, Delta Green bundle. I don't know if I brought this up last time. It's been out there maybe, but it's still got, I think a few days left on this. This is fantastic. Like if you own 0 Delta Green and you're like, I know Sean has mentioned this or I've heard about it and you want to like get into it, like this is for $25 you can get all these books. 25 PDFs, right? But $25, that's you can't even buy one of these hardbacks, I don't think, for $25. Maybe some of the scenarios like Static Protocol, some of the Archant, Agent Dossier, you can get, actually physical copies for probably less than $25. But still, in the core rule books, 3 of the biggest campaigns of the game, right? God's Teeth, Impossible Landscapes. Night at the Opera is a consolidation of multiple scenarios. But yeah, Iconoclast I think is the other one. So there you go. I have all these, so they're great. Delta Green. There you go. Did I put it in the link chat? I did. Did I not? Should I? Okay, I will. I'll do it again anyway. No, it's in there. Okay. Yeah. Crown and Skull is a Hank's game system, the maker of ICRPG. It is. Yes, it is. Nubis says all over the DG one. The only tricky thing with these bundles that I'm not a big fan of is if you're a PDF fan, they're fantastic. The thing is if you get these in hardback from Pelgrim Press, the publisher, they give you the PDF with the hardback. So but But some of these, like, okay, get the hardback of the core and get the bundle for all the supplements. Whatever. You do you. You know what to do. You know your thing the best. Excuse me, Ryan says, yeah, I already own most of those books, but just for 2 or 3, it's worth it, and money goes to charity. That's true, indeed. What? Took me forever to get the DG hardcover set. Well, you should get this bundle. Well, don't get this bundle, Jeff. I don't know if you'll need it. Because it's a lot of... The thing is with Delta Green, there's a lot of Game Master stuff, right? It's not like every supplement is for a player. The player, you're good with the player's handbook. Agent's Guide. You know, very, very, that's probably one of the shortcomings for the game overall. For players. Like, oh, I want it more. And if you do get more, and you get something like, you can't read the campaign guide if you're going to be playing in it. Shipping for DG hardbacks is killing me. Pricey books too. Very good though. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. As a would-be player, I'm restricting my material for myself. Yeah, agreed. Agreed, Jeff. Don't get any of these, Jeff. That's the only drawback. Like D&D, you know, or Star Wars is a perfect example. FFG, Edge Studios have got it down. Where if you buy a supplement, there's stuff for everybody that plays. So every supplement is, and frankly, some of the supplements are very player specific. It's like, it's a class supplement. So here's the class. So it's kind of flipped. It's geared towards the player, but inside are worlds for the Game Master and, you know, extra things, right, for the Game Master. So, yes, the dynamics of what to publish and what to put into books and what's your target audience and customer. So I know, right, Laramie? That's what we need. The only problem is there's probably not a lot of money in it. We think there is, but they're probably not. This one, keep her moving, as we say in Wisconsin. Keep her moving. I bring this up. This is, so 50th anniversary of D&D. They have 50% off their 5e stuff. I actually wanted to go here and see if they had 50% off like all their old modules because I would like to get some old TSR stuff. Those are not included. I also am a fan of Eberron. So Eberron, there's Eberron 5e stuff in here that's like 20% off because it's also the 20th anniversary of Eberron. So if you are an Eberron fan and you want some material, I am a fan of Eberron. You know, you're going to see a theme here, probably. Sean is not known as the unbiased news source for RPGs. Sir, your carry-on must weigh less than 300 pounds to Laramie smuggling in stuff on a plane. Roger, Eberron represent. All right, let's keep going. All right. Do you guys know Dungeons & Dragons are going to be on stamps? Oh, for Pete's sakes. Let me get my ad blocker. Sean, you block ads? That's uncool, dude. Well, so are some obnoxious ads. So, they're not obnoxious. I'm all right with them. Problem is, they've gotten too obnoxious. So there you go. Go click on these ads. Dungeons & Dragons to release special USPS stamps. So during Gen Con 2024, you'll have a chance to see and purchase a new line of Dungeons & Dragons USPS stamps, which you can use in the mail. As a former, what's a stamp collector? I can't remember. What's it called when you collect stamps? Stamp collector. What is a stamp collector? A philatelist. Philatelist? Philatelist. Yeah. I was one as a kid. Nerd. Yes. Stamped right here. Yeah. Got the stamp collector stamp. Achievement unlocked. I would get these. I'd get a sheet of these, put it in like a frame. And then I think hopefully I can get them I got to imagine you got to get them outside of freaking Lucas Oil Stadium where they're going to sell them there. And then the post office as well is in Indianapolis. And then there's Greg Breeding, who's the art director for the stamps. He's going to be signing autographs. So there you go. Moving right along. Mantic buys River Horse. Who's Mantic? Who's River Horse? Well, I'm glad you asked. Securing the brand and licenses, including Labyrinth and Dark Crystal RPGs. So River Horse has been around for 14 years. They were bought by Mantic Games. So Nottingham-based publisher. So if you're in the UK, these might ring a bigger bell than some of you Americans, some of you Yanks. Some of you Yanks. Jim Henson collection of tabletop RPGs and board games for Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, but also My Little Pony Tales of Equestria, Pacific Rim Extinction, Hunger Games Mockingjay, Terminator Collection, and Highlander. So Mantic Games, also based in Nottingham, England, make Kings of War, Hellboy games, Dungeon Adventures, Dead Zone, Armada, and Terrain Crate. Okay, so there you go. Is it all just board games? Is that the deal? Tabletop RPGs and board games for Labyrinth. Okay, so it is kind of crosses over. So there you go. If you're wondering, like, hey, wait a minute, weren't they known as this, but now they're known as that? Oh, man, I didn't know. There you go. Yeah, that's going on. So, you know, it's funny, like, it seems very, we don't get a lot of the nuances. Like, we hear about corporate companies, like, buying smaller companies and their valuation and all this other stuff. And, you know, some of us tune into that. Some of us don't totally get it. But it's always interesting to me, like, when another game company buys another game company, it's like, what does that look like? How does that take place? You know? Because, I don't know. They say there's no money in RPGs. So I'm always interested to hear, like, you just get like 50 grand together and just buy the company? I don't know. How do you determine its, you know, valuation? I'm being a little pedantic, but still, I would like to know more. Can you divulge the details of the deal? No, we cannot. Okay. Another one. Steam Forged take control of War Machine and Iron Kingdoms. So miniatures, more so, but there have been RPG tie-ins, right? Products that have derived from these games. So Privateer Press owned Steamforged Games is the new owner of Iron Kingdoms, including the award-winning fantasy miniatures game War Machine. So Privateer Press owned these. Privateer will work in partnership with Steamforged. So Matt Wilson, CCO and founder of Privateer Press, told Press, "We couldn't have asked for better custodians than Steamforged. Their track record, history with the games, and genuine excitement about the future make them the perfect fit to shepherd War Machine and the Iron Kingdoms into the future, opening up new opportunities and growth channels for all Kingdoms titles. We look forward to working with Steamforged in the years to come." Steamforged's senior leadership team have been busy. The company turned 10 this year, and for the last 3 years, it has increased trading revenue by 50%. There you go. Uh-oh, Shamba. Oh, let's see. Make sure I'm not getting behind here. Not RPGs, but IPs. Oh, that's true, too. Money, that is. Yes. That's a good point. Like, hey, we could turn this into a movie. Maybe. I guess. I don't know. Moving on. Let's keep cranking through these. UK Games Expo. Anybody go? The figures for the UK Games Expo are out, and it's record-breaking. You guys probably can't see it. It's by design. There you go. Unique's 39,000. Did you know how many went to UK Games Expo? Total attendance, 65,000. Massive. Thank you for everyone that came to the show and made it so memorable. Bring on 2025. I do not know what they hit last year, but it would be interesting. See you, Tad. Moving on. Deanna Jones Award. Sean, it's Diana. Whatever. Tomato. If it's named after the Indiana Jones RPG, I say Deanna. So there. Sue me. They have, so the Deanna Jones Awards for Excellence in Gaming, there's a secret cabal of people that, come up with certain things about gaming, like the bigger contributions of gaming in the last year. And then there's nominations, and then the final award is given at Gen Con. It's been around for years. Matt Forbeck is one of the folks that kind of coordinates this. At least he was at one point. So from a long and eclectic collection of nominees, the committee of the Deanna Jones Award for Excellence in Gaming selected 5 finalists that it believes best exemplified excellence in the field of gaming for its 2024 award. They are something you cannot see on your screen by design. First one is Adepticon. It's a miniatures games convention in the Midwest. 8,000 attendees there. It's been around for a while. Amy Bayo, a game designer and owner of Pink Tiger Games since 2018 when Amy, did I say Amy? Amy. Maybe Amy? Could be Amy. Sorry. Since 2018 when Amy designed her games, You Think You Know Me, she has been on a mission to share compassion and empathy through tabletop games. Next, there's links for all this. You can go there and check them out. Festival, an RPG and board game convention in Denmark. First time I've heard of them. I don't live in Denmark or Europe, so good to know that this is going on. So Festival is a role-playing and board game festival. It takes place yearly in Jutland, Denmark. This has developed an ever-evolving history of design, innovation, playful spirit, and community commitment. See, the more you know. The more you know. TTRPGs for Trans Rights in Florida, a charity bundle organized by Rue Dickey. Under the leadership of creator Rue Dickey, 254 tabletop role-playing game creators banded together on itch.io to offer over 500 different items worth more than an aggregated $2,000 US. For a suggested donation of only $5, you can get all that stuff. So that's been recognized. Then the last one is United Paizo Workers. So Paizo, maker of Pathfinder and Starfinder, amongst other things. The workers union. So as a union of workers at Paizo, United Paizo Workers is the first of its kind in the tabletop role-playing game industry. Organized as part of the Communication Workers of America's Code CWA project to support workers in the tech and game industries who are organizing for change. So there you go. Stay tuned to have one of those folks. And I forget what the winner gets. There's, I think, a package maybe they get. Sorry, don't know, but hey. Let's see what else. Moving on. Let's keep her moving, Sean. All right. The SF, Science Fiction WA, what is it? Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America. That's the SFWA. Posthumously presents Janelle Jacquet with the 2024 Kate Wilhelm Solstice Award. So this award is given for significant contributions to the science fiction, fantasy, and related genre community. So Janelle passed away, and so obviously, I can't remember the date, but anyways, some of her contributions to the hobby. Some of you might know her work from Dark Tower and Thracia. What is the Dark Tower and the Caverns of Thracia, amongst other things. Art, adventure design, some of the things she brought to the table, like, were quite different from some of the things that originally came out. So there you go. A little recognition to Janelle. Next up, Thanks EN World. All these websites, not affiliated with any of them, but go over there and check them out. Smiteworks hires D&D Beyond founder as Chief Development Officer of Fantasy Grounds. So if you don't know who Adam Bradford is, Adam was one of the forces, I will say, behind D&D Beyond. So if you're not familiar with that whole trek, D&D Beyond he was part of, created, sold to Fandom. Fandom's he stayed on. Fandom sold it to Wizards of the Coast, who now owns it. When that occurred, Adam left Fandom. A few people were laid off. Some people were, retained. Adam moved on to create Demiplane. Hey, stick with what you know. I'll do something that's very similar to D&D Beyond, but I'll do it for other games. So he was at Demiplane. Yeah. So Demiplane just got bought by, the comic book. I have okay. These guys and their ads is like, this would be one of those culprit sites that they're pretty. Oof. Comic book, appreciate the website and the info you provide, but man, some of your ads are like over the top. So Roll20 announces the purchase of Demiplane. So Adam left prior, I think, to this event happening. Now, slice it any way you want. We haven't interviewed Adam. I don't know, but he's put out on a tweet like the selling of Demiplane to Roll20 didn't have any. My moving to Smiteworks has nothing to do with it. Anyways, who knows? But so Smiteworks, just so you know, is the creators of Fantasy Grounds, the virtual tabletop, which will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Fantasy Grounds morphs with Adam being there. Because if you look at some of the Demiplane stuff and you look at some of the D&D Beyond, you could see some very strong similarities. So it'll be interesting to see if Adam brings some of that stuff over to Smiteworks. I have to think he would, but anyways. There, case in point. Anyways, so Roll20, largest VTT service. Now, also, you need to know, is Roll20 and One Bookshelf are one company. One Bookshelf owns DriveThruRPG. Everything coming together here, folks. Some of you already know this, so I apologize, but nonetheless, gotta get the full picture of what's going on in this hobby, right? So, largest VTT service for online tabletop role-playing gameplay has announced the acquisition of Demiplane, a character management and creation tool set known for its easy character creation tools for multiple game systems. Comicbook.com got the exclusive lowdown on this. You can read more about it. So, interview with Comic Book Roll20 CEO Ankit Alal explained that the purchase of Demiplane allows Roll20 to further its goal of creating a senseless user experience where users can purchase RPGs and then play them. So there must be something weird like, how do we bridge the gap with DriveThruRPG and Roll20? How are we going to do that? I don't know the technical debt that Roll20 probably has. I have to imagine it's probably pretty interesting. For a long, before, Ankit's relatively new. I think he's been there, I don't know if he's been there 3 or 4 years, but for a long time, man, Roll20 didn't do much. My experience, cost money. And some of the stuff that they, some of the users that they have don't pay to play on there. So I don't know what their revenue generation is or what have you, but it takes money to do a lot of roadmap projects. And if you architected the platform in a particular way, 10 or 15 years ago, and you want to bring it up to speed, you want some newer technology, that can be costly. So anyways, now with the acquisition of Demiplane, Is there a way to implement that easier or cheaper? I would say the majority of players there don't pay. I think it's a fair statement. Fair. But anyways, I thought this was interesting. This is not a small blip in the RPG ecosystem. Like, it'll be very interesting to see how this takes shape. But if you want to learn more and read more about the nuances of the deal and what it all means, link in the stuff here that I will put in. First, I will put the link to Adam. I already did. And then the Roll20 announcement. Okay. Holy bonkers, Batman. That just wraps up the news. And we got like 10 minutes before I boogie this place. Boogie that walk. Let's do print news. Print news. What's this one? This one right here. How about that? How about that? Meet me at the table. How about that? All right. Rascal, Horrors of the Unknown, Endless Possibilities of the Unknown Beast. Explore endless possibilities of the unknown beast in the GM-less, low-prep horror mystery RPG. Are you a fan of Agatha Christie's mysteries? Do you resonate with Sherlock Holmes' deductions or enjoy Scooby-Doo's goofy adventures? Ooh. Ever find yourself crafting fan theories after binge watching a series? So Unknown Beast is a GM-less, that's why I put this in here, is GM-less, low-prep, horror mystery tabletop role-playing game. 3 to 5 players. At the beginning of the game, no one knows what kind of monster they're facing, but the story is created as the game progresses. This means that literally anything can happen, and the mystery can be vampires, aliens, zombies, secret agents of the government, or just teenagers in the neighborhood, or whatever the players come up with. Mystery is constructed by discovering levels of details about info concerning the beast. There are short phrases that are added to the conspiracy board and linked to each other. Very obviously, some people would say this is a writing table game, writer's table, right? It's Betrayal at House on the Hill, the board game, the RPG. Yeah, maybe, I suppose. Not really. But anyways, if you want to know more, I'll link to the Rascal News release article. And there's a link down below that you can find things at unknownbeast.com. If you're hearing this, Analytic Dice and Gabe and Kevin, this will be an interesting one. Like, I keep giving these guys suggestions on what games to play. Like, one was the one I did suggest and they did play was Crown and Skull. Not due to me my suggesting it by any means, but I was interested to hear about their experiences with the attrition mechanics, which is a little bit different than your standard fantasy game. So it'd be interesting to have them run something that's like GM-less and what that looks like. So anyways, just suggestion, guys. Going to the in-world RPG print news. What's out? A Life Well Lived. D&D 5th edition hardcover supplement. This is by Cubicle 7. PCs can do the following with this volume. Discover who the PC was before his adventuring days and how delving into dungeons and slaying dragons has changed him once he hangs up his sword. Create bonds in the party that tie the PCs together. Interesting. Next one, Sea God's Curse, OSE. Man, Laramie, I know, has helped Frog God and been a Frog God, I don't know, employee, volunteer. Hey, Gabe. Good to see you, buddy. Sea God's Curse, so my comment with Frog God, Pathfinder, 5th edition, OSE, system neutral. And did I see that they're now doing DCC? Dude, what the heck? You know, I have to think you guys have an application where you just write the adventure and whatever it is, and then there's like a magic button that runs everything through the different conversions, and it spits out all 5 different systems at once. At least I would hope. Or somebody there has converting stat blocks down to a science, just saying. So this one is for 5e. Oh, I'm sorry, not DC. They might do DCC. Also, Castles and Crusades. There you go. You get Sea God's Curse, and you get Sea God's Curse. So check it out. Softcover Adventures, $25. Follows from the Island of Sorrow and is set in the world of the Lost Lands. Lost Lands is the default setting of Fraud God stuff. I actually have that setting. It's no joke, man. That thing is thick and heavy and a lot of, don't say it, and a lot of stuff in it. Next one, Dragon's Horde issue 40 and Dragon's Horde issue number 41. The Legendary Games, those guys out in Iowa cranking out stuff as well all the time. Check that out. Necromancer Games, which is also part of Fraud God. All right. Meadow Queen, Castles and Crusades, and the Meadow Queen for 5e. An adventure for 4th to 6th, 4th level PCs. Introduces the isolated Schoensfeld Valley. It's a snow-capped environs in the alpine village of Taltzing. Going down to Taltzing for the Edelfest. Edelfest is the annual celebration of love and life. There you go. Sean, don't do accents. It's not nice. Sorry, you're right. Foul. Technical foul. Sorry. Apologies. I can't help it. All my German. The Murmuring Fountain, The Fiddler's Lament by Legendary Games. Black Flag Role-Playing is the system. Black Flag. Look at that. It's coming out. Kobold Presses. Now it's Legendary Games has got because they've been very Pathfinder, I think 5e. Like, this is going to be an interesting time of year, folks. You got MCDM's game, you got Black Flag, you got Pathfinder, you got whatever D&D is going to be called. You've got, what else am I missing? 13th Age. Like, what? Like, Frog God Games is going to have their hands full trying to create things for all these systems. Dude, it kind of reminds me like, hey, we should unbundle cable TV. We should unbundle it. Net neutrality. And then all of a sudden you do, and it's like, there are like 10 major 5e derivative versions of RPGs. Which one do I create for? All of them? Laramie says, can verify there isn't a magic button source. I'm currently converting their CNC stuff. Happy to chat about it anytime. Good, cool, interesting. Tome of Treasures, Necromancer Games, 5th edition, hardcover supplement. There you go. 700 treasures, including weapons and walking sticks, elaborate jewelry and wooden buttons, carved boxes, secret compartments, rare ivory, and iron pots. Last one, Warhammer, 40K, Wrath and Glory, Threat Assessment, Xenos, by Cubicle 7. So if you're 40K supplement, 40K RPG fan, there you go. That's it. That's it for print news. Moving on to crowdfunding. Moving. All right. Some of these I thought we might have mentioned in the past, but regardless, whatever. Rascal, 2 old school adventures made for now. Raiding the Obsidian Keep, a dark fantasy point crawl and dungeon climb. Look at those aesthetics, folks. Too long didn't read. 2 old school essential modules for 2nd to 4th level characters from the makers of Knock. I'm sure I covered this at one point in time. And then Black Sword Hack. Both 72-page small format booklets have sleeve covers containing maps and other reference material for a smooth GMing experience. There's no stretch goals. It's on Kickstarter for another 2 weeks. Go and check that out. Why adventure games are so cool right now. OSR, New School Renaissance, Sword Dream, Retro Role-Playing. Our game design movement has many names. I didn't even know those other names. Sword Dream, Retro Role-Playing, New School Renaissance. I think I've heard, but whatever. and even more undercurrents, let us make it simple. We adventure gamers base our TTRPGs and campaigns on a few simple principles: decision-making, open dynamic environments, GM as a neutral interface, collectively agreed upon rulings, dice as oracles, no game balance, quick character creation. Seems relatively straightforward tenets. I will link in the chat if you would like to check it out. Laramie says, I love knock. Next up, Maze's City of Skull campaign, which I thought I also touched on. Okay, no worries, more publicity, go whatever. City of Skull is a unique campaign setting and Wes March's Hex Crawler adventure path for Maze's fantasy role-playing. Crowdfunding on BackerKit June 4th, 2024. I have seen Mazes, I think Mazes in Drive-Thru-RPG. It's a particular, I have seen it quoted as a resource for Wes March's play. I can't remember the new, sometimes they'll say, hey, for good random encounters, get this book. For good methods of journey, get, reference some of the things in this book. I can't remember what Mazes was specifically. I didn't get it because it seemed more like its own thing. So I didn't pick it up, but I may look at this because I am interested in the Wes March's Hex Crawler adventure path. We'll see. Campaign rewards. Looks pretty cool. Maze is a return to the classic sword and sorcery dungeon crawler with award-winning, elegantly simple rules that put you right into the action. First published as a set of zines in 2019 Zine or Zine Quest. Where's Orcus when I need him? Maze's fantasy role-playing was the first role-playing game to feature our polymorph rule system. Choose a die, pick a class, kick open the door to adventure. Your role is your role. Your role, L-E, is your role, double L. No math, no modifiers, narrative heavy, but feels mechanically crunchy. Interesting. If you would like to know more, check her out. Next. Rascal. Protect your community and face monsters of your own making in Bump in the Dark, revised edition. So I think this has been out. Build community, protect your chosen family, and beat the shit out of monsters in this forged in the dark game of supernatural investigations and gritty showdowns. It's 1994 in the region of the fictional Ontonagon Peninsula, known as Iron Country, and something is very wrong. So it's inspired by media like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Twin Peaks, and more. Bump in the Dark is a game of supernatural mystery and action-packed showdowns with regular people caught in the middle. Funding now on BackerKit. Complete standalone game using a streamlined version of the popular Forged in the Dark engine and a bespoke mystery system inspired by games like Brindlewood Bay and External Containment Bureau. Looks like a cool game. Praise for the game. All right, so there you go. I really wish I understood Monster of the Week Forged in the Dark edition. Maybe, I guess, potentially. I wish I knew more about Forged in the Dark. I've never played anything extensively, and I haven't bought a ton and read it. Well, that's not true. I had Blades in the Dark. I've had Scum and Villainy. I actually still do. No. Yes, I do have Scum and Villainy, and I have Band of Blades. Kevin Keneally has run Scum and Villainy. I've played in Blades in the Dark with Brett and who ran it? Eric Francos and Craig Shipman, I think, ran it for us. But a single shot. And I heard it shines with more than just a single shot. It's interesting because even when I listen to Analytic Dice, go check out Analytic Dice podcast with Gabe and Kevin. It's interesting when they do a one shot, because they do one shots and they talk about the game. And it's interesting when they come up with like, it's like there are mechanics that seem like they would make more sense when you play it more than once. Not make more sense, like understanding wise, but make more sense where it would tie multiple sessions together or what have you. So, sometimes games just are better with more than one session, I guess. I'd run a campaign of Blades in the Dark for you. Would you, Roger? Or Blades in the Dark? Would you do Blades in the Dark or would you do Band of Blades? Do you have Band of Blades? Ryan says, I'm in. We'll see. This Wes Marches stuff, man, it's like, I want to play. It's a balance. I got to provide enough slots to keep people intrigued and interested in signing up. And then, if it fizzles, it fizzles, and then I'll shit can it, and then I'll play something else. But so, not ruling it out. I do either. Ooh, interesting. Or Fistful of Darkness. Get your Western on. I gotta say, I've played one Western RPG. 2, maybe, if you count one at Gamehole or Gary Con. I can't remember what it was. Big set piece. Lots of players. The other one would have been Weird Frontiers with Dave, the creator, at Gary Con before it was out. I've never played Deadlands in any iteration. I've never played Aces and Eights or any other Western. Westerns I've never jammed. Like, I think one Western that I ever really grokked was like Young Guns. And some people would say, that's not a real Western, dude. You gotta watch whatever, Magnificent Seven, man. It's fantastic. I don't know why. I've seen Unforgiven, right? Like, I don't know. Louis L'Amour books. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm missing something. It may be like that genre, Westerns, may be my Call of Cthulhu as a kid, right? We played a lot of Top Secret, Star Trek, D&D, never played Call of Cthulhu. Got older, played a one-shot of Call of Cthulhu and went, I like this game. Oh, Delta Green, never heard, I think I've heard of it, don't really know much about it. Oh, Delta Green, yes, Delta Green. So maybe I'm missing something in the Western space, I'm not sure. Deadlands, you never played Deadlands. Never played Deadlands. Never owned it, never played it. Original or Reloaded or whatever. Because the original is different too. Like the original Orange, all the Orange books, which is what Savage Worlds is derived from. That's where the poker chips and the cards come from, for folks that may or may not know that. Yeah, I don't know, man. A zombie Western? Maybe. I'll run the Deadlands one shot. I've run a few times for BSers for you. Roger. I've got Roger booked for the next year, just so everybody knows. Tombstone TV show. Tombstone I've seen. Tombstone the movie I've seen. You're right. Tombstone. What was the other one? Wasn't there another one at the roughly same time? I cannot remember. Dude, yeah. Unforgiven is my absolute favorite Western. Dorcas. Hey, morning, sunshine. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Late good morning. Sean's confessing he hates all Westerns. Oh, I don't hate them. I just have never got them. Like, even, what's the TV show? The Rifleman? Like, who's the gay guy in there? Gay guy in there. The guy in there. I can't remember his name. Well-known actor. Can't remember. Wait, no, Tombstone is the movie. What is the TV show? I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. But Sean, you're Flynn Rider or a smooth spy. That's your shtick. Flynn Rider. Oh, take your word for it. But yeah, and I've always loved espionage. Always. Like, since I was a kid, just love it. Always loved it. Read James Bond novels. Not that he's all espionage. Jean Le Carré, some of them. I wrote a research paper when I was like 10 on the FBI and CIA. True story. You should see that thing. Oh, my God. I think it's sitting around here somewhere. He doesn't want a cowboy hat to ruin his due. Dude, I like a good cowboy hat. I would, like, when I got my job right now, I based out of a company in Austin. And I'm like, when I go down there, I want to wear a cowboy hat. But I don't want these, like, I'm not picking it up at the local retail store. Like, I'm going to go down there to like this where they make them and they burn them. Like, yeah, man. 300 cowboy hats. Yeah. White Earp. White Earp, that's the one. Shambot's right. White Earp was the other one at that time. Deadwood, never saw it. Deadwood is the HBO, like a lot of swearing. But I used to work for somebody. My boss was like, "You never seen Deadwood? Oh, you gotta watch Deadwood. It's fantastic." And I think that was like that same time frame of Sopranos, because we were like bopping back and forth. He's like, "Oh, you watch Sopranos? Oh, you watch Deadwood." Have Gunsmoke. That's the one, Tim. Yes. You guys, look at this. Apparently, to get you guys fired up, hey, Westerns. If he says he's never seen Shane, I'm going back to bed. I think I have. So I, in the military, had a guy in my section who was a huge John Wayne fan. Had all of his movies. Imagine something you love a lot. A comic book, a game, a sports team or something. That's what he was like with John Wayne. And I thought I saw Shane. I think I've seen Shane. I don't remember. I know it's like tragic and you cry at the end. But anyways. Justified is a great modern Western. You are correct. The wife and I would watch Sopranos and Deadwood after the kids went to bed. Yeah, okay. Come on, bro. Clint has a ton of great Westerns. Clint, sure, yeah. Oh, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. If I can like stay awake for the whole 3.5 hour or whatever, how long it is. So yeah, it's not I haven't seen them. I don't know. Apparently, I don't have as much passion as some of you about the genre, if you will. Maverick, starring Mel Gibson, was fun. So was The Quick and the Dead. Now I want to play original Deadlands. All right, well, I'm not done yet. Let's go. Where are we at? Here. Is this one? Nope, that's not the one we already did. This is one I want to bring up too. So, Castles and Crusades by Trollord Games is kickstarting. It's called Castles and Crusades Reforged. I think by now it might be actually on Kickstarter. I don't know, or it's in the next couple days. And I'm recording this June 8th, 2024. If you sign up here at this form, I'll put it down below, you get a free PDF copy. Boom. I think, but I don't know. I think you have to sign up before it launches. You get the free PDF. So they're just ripping out the OGL. I think they're updating maybe some art, maybe hoping to touch up some editing. I don't know. So I figure I'd throw that out there. Trollord Games has always been big on, you can get the core rules of their Castles and Crusades game for free in a PDF. They kind of make their money off they make their money off printed stuff. So the Kickstarter, like it says right here, our 3 core books completely OGL free. That's what the Kickstarter's for. The Kickstarter will help us reprint the 3 core books: Castle Keeper's Guide, Monsters and Treasure, and Player's Handbook. Pulling all the OGL, you'll find new art, improved layout, and more. So they're going to do what Jeff did for them. So for you folks that don't know this, Jeff, who's in the chat, friend of mine, known him since we were kids, like redid the Player's Handbook, put in different art. He did it with OSE. Some of you guys know this, like the core OSE book. He did the same thing, and then he did the same thing for Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook. So thought I'd share that. Anyways, so there you go. Check it out if you will. And then lastly, but not least, we go to EN World. Crowdfunding. These are campaigns in the last few days of the campaign. So Blade Runner RPG, Replicant, Rebellion, and Asset Pack. It's at holy bajonkers. 3,592,000 kroner. I don't know how many. What is that? Like, I did not get in on that. I almost think this might be $340,000. This may be more interesting than the actual Blade Runner game because you guys can, play with replicants and you want to overthrow everything. Replicant, represent. So there you go. 4,000 backers. That's funded. Here's the adventure double feature from the Merry Mushmen. That's the one we just went over. That's like at 100,000 euros. Hyperborea, Modulistic Terror, Northwind Adventures. This is for Hyperborea RPG. 38,000 of $20,000 goal. That's funded. Deva, oh man, I can never. Deva Boomi, TTRPG setting inspired by ancient India from Silver Compass Maps. This is for 5th edition Pathfinder 1E and 2E. Pathfinder 2E. Sourcebook, $25. Funded. Little Wolves, Around the Folk and Fae. Explore a TTRPG fantasy of Fae, Queens, and Werewolves. Little Wolves by Dinoberry Press. It's probably funded. That looks like a sharp book. Yeah, $25,000 of a $19,000 goal. Let's see. This one, Kids in Capes. Mentioned this a while ago when Ty brought it up, by Hunter's Books. So it's in the final throes. It's funded. Do yourself a favor. Check out how many campaigns they've done. Go to those campaigns. Look at the expected arrival date. Go to the updates tab, especially if you're on Kickstarter. Go to the updates. I think you should be able to view them. I think most of them are public. And then see when it was delivered. I think there's also the website I mentioned, 20 streams ago that keeps track of all the Kickstarters and crowdfunding campaigns and metrics. And if you're good with the weight, then go ahead. Hardy Boys role-playing game. Interesting. From Sixpence Games. I had my uncle sent me the Hardy Boys book series when I was a kid. I don't think I read any of them. But I watched the TV show. Most popular pledge, $15. PDF and POD, $1,200. Pledged of $1,000 goal. Wow, that is really crazy. I bet you a lot of people don't even know who the Hardy Boys are. I mean, the Hardy Boys. It's, how many people even back this thing? 66 backers. Hardy Boys. IP. It's old. I'm wondering how they got the license. Who owns the license to Hardy Boys? Anyways, there you go. That's the last one. There you go. There you go. You guys still talking about Westerns? You guys are. Sounds like Sean needs to run a West Marches. Where are you? Where'd it go? Dorcas. I think my stuff bouncing all over. West Marches campaign next. I am. You know that, right? Western Marches. I got it. Sorry. Didn't read close enough. Stupid thing. Yay, CNC. Got it. All right. I'm going to pause it. I cannot have this thing keep jumping around on me. Roger again. Run Deadlands. Western movies. I also enjoy Akira Kurosawa. Yeah, Barsoom. Space Western? Yeah, man. My CNC Player's Handbook is a freaking work of art itself, an homage to original AD&D art and art styles. Yeah, it's nice. Bravo, Jeff, for sure. Kudos to Jeff, because that would not have been easy. Star Wars is a space western. Play Scum and Villainy for that. Exactly right, Tim. And Sean loves that stuff. Whatever. I don't equate the Empire to the, Sean, there's always a bad guy in the Western. Yeah, I guess. The one bad guy with the bad farm, the big farm, all the farm hands, coming into town and ruining town. I equate Star Wars a little bit more to World War II, honestly. That's just me. I mean, there's some similar analogs there, right? Comments are always public, although they're generally toxic as of lately. Toxic as beep, right? Well, it was on TV like 50 years ago. The Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys wasn't on 50 years ago. Come on, Tim. It was on when we were like 10. So 40 years ago, maybe. Did I just tell everybody how old I was? All right. Let's, again, 20 minutes over, but, still respectable. Oh, man, and this is not, what is going on here? Let's try this. There's the one I want. Thanks, everybody, for joining me on this fine Saturday morning live. I really appreciate it. Good to see each and every one of you. For those of you that will be watching this on stream, thank you for doing that. Don't want to dismiss your viewership by any means. If you've appreciated this, give us this, one of these, or one of those. I want to thank all these individuals for helping me and supporting me a little bit each month financially. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What else can I say? I don't think I have anything else to mention. So I'm going to let y'all go. Have a good rest of your weekday. Spend some time with folks you appreciate and spend some time to yourself if you need a break from all of the noise, if you will. Play some games, and of course, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby, and I hope to see you on the next one. See ya.